18, and Josh.
Intorcio.
What is it? Intorcio?
Yeah.
Intorcio? Intorcio, I'm sorry.
I just.
Intorcio. Josh, I'm going to turn the floor over to you as soon as Mel stops talking. Go ahead.
All right, so girls soccer has a game tomorrow at 3:45 on the turf versus Hamilton Wyndham. The boys soccer has a game tomorrow away at Hamilton Wyndham, as well as Friday home against Newburyport and Saturday at Triton. Following that, both boys and girls soccer are taking a trip to the New England Revolution down in Foxborough, and the seniors are going to go on the field after the game and shoot the ball around and
Nice.
whatnot. Yeah.
Hey, let us know who has a better turf field, okay?
Last Friday night, football team had a heartbreaking loss against Amesbury, which involved a controversial
was.
field goal and whatnot.
There was a controversy on that? I didn't know that.
I don't know. They called it not good, and apparently, I guess
They reversed the decision?
Sure,
That
yeah, I
wouldn't
guess
happen
so.
if they were playing in North Reading.
Sunday, the girls' soccer team is doing the breast cancer walk in Boston for that. Girls volleyball had a game today at 3:30 against Linfield. Not sure how they did at that. And the homecoming barbecue was moved to October 28th, which is before the 7 o'clock home football game on the turf. For clubs, the Interact Club baked pies for the Apple Festival. They baked around 50 pies. I guess they were good. Officer elections for Eco Team were last week. Still waiting on results for that. For Student Council, freshman officer elections were held. Matt Steed is the freshman class president. Jackie Lanzaro is the vice president. Cole Hughes, treasurer, and Tracy Graham is the secretary. Student Council Can Drive starts next week, October 3rd. Heading that will be me and my co-head, Eric Larson, who's also class of 2013. Student Council did elections for a treasurer and a new position, publicity coordinator. Caitlin Rubin won treasurer, and Kristen Shevlin won publicity coordinator. I don't know if you guys know, but Miss St. Arnaud, who heads student council, had a child, so she's not going to be in school. We're working on installing Skype in the smartboard for the classroom, so we can Skype with her and she can help with the meetings and whatnot. In mid-October, there's going to be the Fall Athletes Assembly regarding drinking and drugs and alcohol and whatnot.
Now, that's not till mid-October then?
Yep.
Really? All right.
And back to school night was last Thursday, and that was a great success. Should I present this?
Is that your work? Or?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want one of them?
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, whenever you're ready.
All right. This was a take on our homework essay that I did for advanced placement English language and composition, which is a new class this year offered to juniors and seniors. We watched clips of JFK's inaugural address and Barack Obama's inaugural address, and kind of compared and contrasted in a 1 to 2 page essay what we saw and heard regarding their speeches. We kind of incorporated how they presented and what they presented. I thought it was very kind of enlightening because back in 8th grade, watching Barack Obama's speech, I don't know, that was kind of, I didn't really understand it or kind of wasn't really paying attention, I guess. But looking back on it, I kind of got to analyze it more and I saw some things I didn't really see the first time, including like foreign relations policies and things like that. I also obviously I wasn't alive for JFK's inaugural address, so.
I wasn't either. But everybody else.
But yeah,
I hate to
Yeah, you
say
weren't
this,
either, Jerry,
because
were you?
I just read your essay, and
Yeah,
I saw
I-
JFK's address, and Barack Obama's no JFK. I'm telling you
exactly.
right now. But that's all right,
Yeah.
you weren't around then anyway, so.
Stolen
And I'll
from
ask
Lloyd
Mr.
Bentz.
Nelson about his
Yeah,
opinion on
exactly.
that, too.
I would agree with you.
All right, go ahead, Josh, I'm sorry.
yeah, so
Yes.
I kind of saw it for the first time and got to see. Well, his speech was written on paper, and obviously Barack Obama uses teleprompters and the advancement of technology.
I wish the power had gone out, go ahead.
The advancement of technology over seemingly not so long period of time, and I don't know. I kind of saw the similarity between JFK and the Cold War, and kind of Obama with Middle East issues. I don't know. I thought it was a good essay. And today in class we shared with two peers, and we gave constructive criticism as well as what we thought we could add to their essay and analysis.
Interesting.
Well, I think
Any questions for Josh?
no, but I think back in the Kennedy days. Now I was only 5. No, yeah, 5. I think when Kennedy
January
was.
20th, 1961.
Yeah, so I was 4. I turned 5 in March.
Thank you, pal.
And but I think that the speeches there were more, they were less influenced by the media. What kind of coverage am I going to get? How do I look on television? You know, Josh points out Kennedy looking down at the paper. Can you imagine someone giving a speech today and looking down at
Well,
the
that was
paper?
the whole thing with the Kennedy-Nixon campaign, was that that was
Right.
the era of television coming into
Kennedy-
political
and that's why
campaigns,
Nixon
and Kennedy
lost. Right.
supposedly beat Nixon
Because
because
he was
of
more
that, 'cause he presented
photogenic and he
better.
was
But you're
handsome
right, I mean,
and
back
young
then,
and-
it was all new,
Yeah.
being on TV like that, yeah.
Josh, did
I
you have
actually
to write
remember that.
just a short
You
piece, or did you have to write like in different lengths?
Well, for this is page to 2 page. We also do analysis essays, which are at least 500 words, where we can kind of expand more on like specific quotes and rhetorical devices, within the speeches. It's kind of more of like an analysis of how they speak and how they use certain words to try and get their purpose across to the audience.
I think back then
Hard to write short things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
speeches were much more genuine back then, and if I was to make a generality, and now they're much more, I think, tuned toward what's the perception going to be. Where back then they actually kind of spoke more from the heart, and they weren't all consulted up with all kinds of political consultants. I think that was a big difference.
Josh, you aware of the fact that there's a strong possibility that a North Reading High School graduate wrote the speech for Obama?
Wrote big
Yeah,
parts of it,
I-
yeah.
I know.
That's good.
Kind of hits home.
Any other questions?
Thanks.
Welcome to.
Josh,
Yes.
it's your first
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
I know you probably want to stay around for the entire meeting, but you probably have homework to do, so
Yeah.
if you need to leave, you can go
We're
right
really
now.
Yes,
interesting,
thank
though.
you.
We're really interesting, Josh. I'm telling you that.
Thank you, Josh, great job.
Thank you.
See you later.
One of the most famous speeches given, well, phrases used was Lloyd Benson.
Right.
Oh, that was
Awesome.
Yep. It was.
You know, it's funny.
No idea what you're talking about.
Lloyd,
What?
If
Benston against Vice
Ben-
President
yes,
Bush's
Quayle.
Vice
yes.
President Quayle, Dan Quayle.
Yes.
I
okay,
knew
now.
John Kennedy.
And you are no
I knew
John
John
Okay,
And young
let's move
man
that.
never
Right.
knows.
Next, we have the MSBA Secondary School Building Committee update. We are meeting tomorrow. I don't think there's much change since the last time Kathy reported on this, but there was a meeting on September
14th.
14th that Kathy was present at, and I think she's already briefed us on it. And the big meeting, I think, is the 28th.
Wednesday.
The day after our meeting
Right.
tomorrow. And they should be making a decision on what option they're going to approve for our secondary school building project. Kathy, do you want to add anything to that?
That's basically it. I don't want to
Yeah.
repeat what you've said. So we are looking forward to hearing back from them
Yes.
after Wednesday.
And it's at that point in time, I think that obviously not only will we start the schematic design process, but that we can really start briefing the public on the project and trying to get some enthusiasm out there. I thought there was a great letter in the transcript last Thursday by the Secondary School Building Committee that did a terrific job of explaining it, very well done.
Yeah.
So, Anybody, any comments?
I just would also like to say that Janine, the author of that letter, was passing out in flyer format that same information at the high school open house on Thursday night.
That was explained about as well as I think we could explain it to this point, to this stage of the game, yeah.
And they will be here at the middle school tomorrow night handing out that same information. So there's the person-to-person contact.
I have two questions. When, if we are assigned a quote project, they say this is the project that North Reading is pursuing on Wednesday, does the 120-day clock start
No.
on Wednesday?
No,
When does it start?
not till I think the schematic design is presented and approved by the
That's
secondary
correct.
school building committee.
So
At
how
that
long does
point in
that take after?
I think it's gonna take into November.
November is correct.
Yeah, November, the end of November, but it's not gonna start running, Mel, till that's been approved, and we'll
Well,
probably
I was
submit
kinda
it.
hoping it would start running, but,
No.
so, does that mean I'm just trying to get a timetable for if we're not approving schematics until, say, the end of November, does that mean we're gonna be approving this project in March or April rather
No,
than?
we're looking for January. All of discussion at this point in time, and again, I guess it depends on how the schematics go, but, all the discussion's been for the end of January.
See, that's my
Am I
question,
right,
how,
Cliff?
Right.
how can you how can you schedule an election when you don't have,
Yes, you can.
Yes.
We can schedule a select.
in a
we can-
special town meeting also?
We can do that at any point in time that the selectmen choose to do it.
Okay.
And from what I've gathered from talking to the town administrator, it's about a 30-day lead time, that's all we need.
Okay.
At the end of schematic design, we'll know what the price tag is. And that will be a pretty good number at that point. And then at the time that we get approval of that from the Department of from the funding people, MSBA, the number will be sort of cast in bronze from their standpoint, and the percentage that they will pony up will be known. We'll have numbers that will be hard numbers to
Right, see,
work
and that,
with.
so that's the question I have. When will the MSBA be giving us a number that's reliable?
They'll be approving a number that's reliable, I'm gonna guess sometime by the end of November.
By the end of November.
So we're gonna have 60 days to sell this?
Less.
120
We
days.
have 120
Yeah, but if
days.
you're saying we're gonna, you
Vote in
wanna have an
January.
election in January, it doesn't give you
A lot to vote, to promote.
a whole lot of
Oh,
days.
we feel that we're gonna start the promoting as soon as we get the approval. I mean, we don't have to have it in
Right, but
January,
I'm
but
saying-
that's been the objective of the committee, is to
Without a
get it
price
started in
tag, it's
January.
difficult,
I agree, without a price tag,
Right.
it's difficult.
very difficult.
Right, it is. But we can still, again, we're hearing it from both sides now. We've been saying, well, you haven't given them public enough information.
Right.
Now we're gonna have the information to give to them. And we're not gonna know the price tag probably until the end of November.
But the first question someone's gonna ask is, how much is this gonna cost? And we're not gonna be able to tell them anything, correct?
We're gonna have to talk about whether or not we can give an educated, guess as to what it's gonna cost. I
I
mean,
can see why we can't.
some parameters.
Yeah, give
Well,
them a
again,
range.
We wanna make sure that we have our facts correct before we start putting them out there.
What we will have established by the end of the month, will be a scope of the project as far as the number of square
Square
feet, the program that it's encompassing, whether it's separate schools, or combined
Right.
school, or what, we'll know that much about the project. But we really won't have definition of the project until the schematic design is complete.
We'll also start to know how much non-reimbursable expenses we're gonna incur versus reimbursable expenses, and we'll come up with a final number for reimbursement as well, final percentage for
But
reimbursement.
again, that's not until close to the end of the year.
I'm gonna say again in November.
Is the committee prepared to present at town meeting, to have a presentation already?
There's going to be a presentation, although,
Yeah.
again, I don't wanna speak out of school, but I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be a major topic for tomorrow night's
Tomorrow
meeting.
night, okay.
And the timing's just about right, because the September 28th meeting, and then the town meeting's the following week, so, I think it's an absolutely opportune time for us to do a presentation at town meeting. And then we can start with a similar presentation at each of the school committee meetings that we're gonna have at the various schools.